Yo, what's up, diggity dogs? A phrase I have never used before and hopefully never will again. Anyway, welcome to this, my second Dragon Ball What If. The focus of this story is a character I personally have a soft spot for, if only because I love Todd Habacon in every role he does. You know him? You love him? Jaco, the Galactic Patrolman. As you might know, Jaco was sent to Earth before the events of Dragon Ball to deal with a Saiyan that had been sent to the planet. Obviously, they thought the baby was there to wipe out the humans. But then he got sidetracked, crashed into the moon, didn't see where the pod landed, and just assumed the Saiyan hadn't landed on Earth at all. In this timeline, there is a difference, you see. In the Jaco the Galactic Patrolman manga, Jaco mentions he once accidentally got a group of civilians killed. And in this version of events, his superiors are a lot less lenient about this incident. He was already on thin ice with the higher-ups in the Galaxy Patrol. You are to go to Earth and deal with this Saiyan before it becomes a threat. Oh, and Jaco, if you foul this up, you can forget about becoming a super elite. Jaco gulped as he got into his spaceship. He knew he had to stay focused here. The events of the Galactic Patrolman manga are largely the same. It's a fun read if you haven't read it, but long story short, he arrives on Earth 3 days before the same pod is supposed to land. He meets an old man named Amori, threatens to wipe out humanity, saves Bulma's older sister from a mugging. He met Bulma while waiting for his ship to be repaired, and he stopped a rocket from crashing into the city. But since he was preoccupied, he didn't notice Kakarot's pod landing on Earth. In this version though, he doesn't just give up and leave. Reluctantly, he decides to search for the Saiyan. He knows if he went back empty-handed, he was sure to get demoted, or worse, fired. He had a stroke of good luck, however, when he heard about a meteor around Mount Paozu over the radio. And the date matched when the Saiyan was supposed to land, so he knew where to start. It didn't take him too long to find the Saiyan pod, but to his dismay, it was empty. He was disappointed, but not surprised. It had been a week since it had landed. Of course it wouldn't be there. He decided to search the surrounding area, and before long, he found what he was looking for when he came across a small house. Sat outside the home was an elderly man and an infant with a tail. "Stop right there, Saiyan! Galactic Patrol! Put your hands where I can see them!" "Saiyan? Galactic Patrol? Are you okay, young man?" the man asked as he turned to face Jaco. Jaco filled Gohan in on why he was here, who he was, who that boy was, and everything he knew about the Saiyans. "I see. These Saiyans do sound awful, but this boy hasn't done anything." "It's only a matter of time. Saiyans are killing machines," Jaco insisted, pointing over to young Goku, who was currently attempting to eat his own foot. "Maybe so, but nothing is born evil. If this boy is raised right, I'm sure he could grow into a fine young man." Jaco wasn't really convinced, but he knew this man wouldn't budge on the issue. "What do you intend to do if you take him?" "He'll be taken back to headquarters, and after that it's out of my hands." "So, you don't know? Well then, you can understand why I won't stand by and let you." Grandpa Gohan warned as he assumed a fighting stance. Jaco mulled over his options. He was confident he could defeat Gohan if need be, but he didn't want to do that. Eventually, he relented and allowed Gohan to keep Goku, but with one caveat. He made Gohan sign a document that said if Goku caused any damage at all to the planet Earth, Gohan would be held responsible for it. "I'll be back to check on you every now and then," Jaco told Gohan as he got into his ship. "Oh, and you'll want to remove his tail unless you want to be a stain on a giant ape's foot. Is it really right to mutilate him? Well, it's that or destroy the moon." "That sounds even worse." "Well, look, Gramps, it's destroy the moon, cut off his tail, or wind up a pancake, so figure it out." Gohan eventually chose the second option, which means in this timeline he lives. Huzzah! Jaco would come back to visit every few months or so, to keep an eye on things. Goku does still hit his head and forget about things, but Gohan and Jaco don't hide the fact that he isn't human from him. What would be the point? There's also no confusion about his age. He knows he is 12, while in the original, he thought he was 14 until Launch taught him how to count. The young Goku was enamored with Jaco and really admired his space uncle, as he called him, and admittedly, the kid grew on him. He would show off his poses and teach Goku a little bit about how he fights, but he would draw the line at Goku asking to hold his gun. Considering Gohan lives to teach him a while longer, and Jaco occasionally pitches in, I'll say Goku's power level when Bulma shows up is 20, twice as strong as he was in the original timeline. When Bulma shows up, Goku brings her to meet Gohan and she politely asks for the 4-star ball. Gohan gives it to her and sends Goku along with her. He doesn't feel right leaving a young girl out in the wilderness by herself, and it would be good for Goku to see the world away from this mountain. Jaco arrives a few days later and is told that Goku has gone off with some girl to help her find the Dragon Balls. He's not thrilled about the idea of Goku being unsupervised and decides to go after them. It takes all his detective skills as a galactic patrolman, but he is able to find them after finding a bear thief with a big old lump on his head and being pointed in the right direction. It doesn't take him long to catch up with them, and he finds them just standing around on a beach. "Oh, it's you, Tights' sister that took my ship for a joyride." "Huh? You know this girl, Jaco?" "Sure do, small world, huh? Tell Tights I said hello." "Tell yourself, you never visit." Jaco is quickly filled in on what's happening and how they were waiting for a turtle to bring someone here to thank them for helping it. Sounded pretty strange, but he'd seen stranger. Jaco tells them that he'll go with them on their journey for the Dragon Balls, if only to keep an eye on Goku. He promises not to get in the way too much. The patrolman waited with the two of them for a while, and eventually a bald, bearded man riding a turtle showed up. He wasn't paying too close attention to the conversation between Goku and the old man. The old man gave Goku a magic cloud, but when the subject of Bulma showing Roshi her panties came up, Jaco stepped in. "Ahem, Mr. Turtle, do you realize how old this young lady is?" "Ah! Who are you?" "I'm a galactic patrolman. We're basically space police. Maybe I should take you back to headquarters and we can have a chat there?" Jaco didn't actually have any jurisdiction over the Earthlings, but he was a pretty good liar. Roshi eyed him for a moment before backing down. He could sense this person was quite a good deal stronger than he was. There's no need for that. I'll save myself a trip to the hospital and just give you the damn ball." Roshi handed the ball to Bulma before departing, mumbling something to himself. "Young people these days shaking down an old man like that." Jaco's presence doesn't change things at Aru Village too much, and they still force Oolong to join them because Bulma gives him a vitamin that makes him need the bathroom every time someone says the word piggy. Things are initially the same in Diablo Desert. Yamcha still beats Goku, but runs from Bulma. When he comes to spy on them later though, Jaco quickly finds him due to his galactic receiver, which can pick up an ant from 300 feet away. Yamcha is chased off before he attempts to steal the Dragon Balls, but he still overheard the conversation about them. He attacks again in the morning and destroys Bulma's van, but was then challenged by Goku and Jaco, so he retreats, coming back a while later and apologizing, even giving them a car. Of course, that car has a tracker in it, like in the original story, but they don't know about that. That seems like a good place to stop. Jaco is along for the ride for the time being, and while he could, in theory, deal with most of original Dragon Ball quite handily, I'm not going to have him become the main character or anything because he is still kind of lazy. Did you find this entertaining? Do you think Jaco's presence will affect the events of Dragon Ball? Subscribe if you want, but be sure to leave a comment. I always like reading those. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. See ya!